Ram trucks, built to serve.
First things first, the Lakers got it done in Game 2. Is the King back in control of this series? Green Bay Packers OTAs underway, but a couple of notable absences on offense. One of them, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Is it a sign of solidarity with the quarterback? And how about this? Blake Griffin throwing down last night. Is he back to being dunk contest Blake? Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolf, Nick Wright, very happy Brandon Marshall, and Kevin Wilds. And Brandon, it is a damn shame you have not been on the Nets bandwagon this year. That would have been the team to go with. That one right there, with Blake leading the way.
Is it too late, Jenna? Is it too late to get on that bandwagon?
It's a little late, my friend. It's a little late. The bandwagon's full. We're going to get to the Nets' big romp last night. We got to start, though, this morning with a shocker. It shocked me, at least. Mavs Clippers Game 2. Remember, Dallas won Game 1. They had a barrage of three-pointers. So guess what they did in Game 2? Exactly the same thing. They're no dummies. Both Kawhi and Paul George showed up, but they got no help from anyone else on that Clippers team. And Luka was Luka. He took advantage. We'll have much more on him in a second. Clippers lose, but they're down 0-2 now, headed back to Dallas. Here's Paul George after the loss.
We got to rise to the occasion. Factor of the matter is if we don't, we're done for. But there's no level of concern. I mean, we just got to play our game. We got to play through this. I'm pretty sure everyone expected us to win this. So they were the underdogs. And when you're a lower seed, I mean, you really don't have high expectations. So they're playing free. They're playing with confidence. I think we're giving them a little too much confidence. So that's on us to shut that down.
I'm not sure I believe they're playing with... There's no concern there for the Clippers. All right, 39 points for that guy, Luka Doncic, off to arguably the best start in playoff history through 8 games. Remember, this is the guy the Clippers wanted to face. Don't forget that. So, Nick, is this series over with the Clippers going down 0-2 in the series?
Jenna, this series is over. This stillborn Clippers era is over. And the Clippers' future of the franchise is as bleak as any team in all of professional sports this side of the Houston Texans. Clippers and Texans actually have something in common. Neither has ever even been to the semifinals of their respective sports championship rounds. But that's neither here nor there. Wilds, what we have here is a perfect storm of terrible, inexplicable at the time, and certainly with hindsight, decisions. In the big picture, the first one is Kawhi Leonard's decision 2 years ago. Kawhi Leonard has had 3 options. Stay in Toronto with that organization, try to win back-to-back titles, and then evaluate the landscape. Option 2, go home to Los Angeles to play with the greatest player ever in Anthony Davis and win titles. Option 3, go to the sorriest franchise in NBA history, have them trade away every asset they have for Paul George and say, that's how we're going to do it. And in the meantime, I'll sign with New Balance as a nice little bonus. He chose that. That is a historically bad decision. Almost as bad as the decision Wilds, his organization made when they decided in Game 72 we could play the Blazers in round 1 if we win. We could play the Mavs in round 1 if we lose. And we are going to intentionally lose so we won't have to play the Lakers in round 2. Instead, we'll play them in round 3. The problem with that is if you go home in round 1, it doesn't matter.
You never get there.
So it was, in hindsight, Wilds, an unforgivable... Well, I'll go to Brandon. Brandon, you disagree with anything I'm saying? They're ruined. They're ruined in this series. They have no assets. They have no cap flexibility. They're ruined.
That's why I'm laughing at you, because the question is about falling down 0-2 and do they still have a chance, not about next year.
And the answer is no.
Yeah, they have a chance, Jenna.
But that's all.
They have 2 of the best players in the NBA. Yeah, yes, they do. They play well. That's not the problem. If you watched the game last night, Paul George did what he was supposed to do. Kawhi Leonard did what he was supposed to do. He had 30 in the first half.
And they still lost.
And he also stepped up on the defensive side when he needed to. But it's about the bench. It's about the others. It's about the supporting cast. When you look at Pat Beverly, when you look at, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, like where are you guys? That's the difference in this game, in this series. Then you look on the Dallas side. Your son, Luka, phenomenal, unstoppable. This kid is on another planet, in another planet. But then he also has a supporting cast that's playing lights out. Maxey, Porzingis. I mean, these dudes couldn't miss. It was like they were shooting in the ocean. Tim Hardaway, phenomenal. So I think when you look at this game, and we're talking about this series, that is the difference. Man, But
is that just real quick? Is
I
that
don't know,
man.
I just don't know if I can see
you think Tim
Hardaway playing that way. It's going to be hard. Listen, it's going to be hard, but they definitely have a chance. They definitely have a chance.
Wilds, you tweeted out
have a chance.
A really interesting stat that showed, like, what's it happened? 4 times a team fell down 0-2 at home in NBA history. And came back to win.
Yes, and I think tweeting out an interesting stat, it gives me too much credit. I basically took a picture of my television and said send. So I will take credit for, going low-key viral on it. But here's what the stat said. So shout out to NBA TV for making the stat. 4 teams have come back from down 2-0 at their home court. It was the 2017 Celtics, but here's the thing. That team had a lot of heart. IT, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, a lot of heart on that team. I don't see that with the Clippers. 05 Mavs, of course, Dirk. 94 Rockets end up winning the championship in the 69 Lakers. I don't think we're going to add the Clippers to this squad, Nick. I do not. I think they're totally cooked. Of course. They were the 8th best defensive team during the year. They've been the absolute worst during the playoffs. And Brandon, when you talk about, like, where's the bench, where's the other guys, here's the thing about prioritizing health. I think your stars are going to show up. I think your stars are going to be stars. It's the other guys that affects. It's those guys ride more momentum than max contract guys. So when you lose those 2 games, you avoid the Lakers. The stars are going to be the stars. The stars play well at home. The stars play well on the road. It's those other guys, those fringe guys that affects. That I think that decision to avoid the Lakers hurt the most.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about that. It's really about this team and really the supporting cast stepping up. When I stood on the table for the Clippers beginning of this year and said I'm riding with the Clippers because I knew exactly what I was going to get from Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard had a phenomenal year. That's right. Kawhi Leonard's having a good series. Paul George, I felt and I was betting on Paul George breaking through that whole stigma of playoff P. He's doing that. Now, I will admit this, Nick. I did not account for the others not stepping up and doing their job. That's the difference here. Luka Doncic, we know exactly who he is. But, man, everybody around him is stepping up. Think about Porzingis. They did a phenomenal job of managing Porzingis down the stretch to get him to the playoffs healthy. We were talking about him being traded. He was on the trading block, and then they kept him. Why? Before this moment, they did a phenomenal job of managing Porzingis, and you're seeing the impact that he has on his team and the impact that he's having on the series. That's the difference.
Well, Brandon, one thing we will agree on is this. The Clippers front office has done a miserable job. And I'm very interested to see for all those guys that, in a few months when they're interviewing for new jobs, because they're all going to be fired, how they justify this roster. Because you're surprised. Let me ask you a question. It seems that, right? Yeah, go ahead. Ask the question, please. And then I'll finish the point.
No, I just don't. Yeah, because you just said everyone's fired. You just made a big move in letting go Doc Rivers, and you got a phenomenal coach that's well-respected in Ty Lue. So are they going to make a move there? And then you're talking about Kawhi Leonard leaving. I just don't see this team making any moves. They can't make any moves.
Okay, well, you're right. They are handcuffed for making moves because of the terrible moves the front office has made, which is why I'm not talking about Ty. I'm talking about the GM on down. The front office is going to be gone. Because maybe some people might be surprised that Reggie Jackson has been terrible in the playoffs. I'm not. I've seen him in the playoffs. People are surprised. Wait, Marcus Morris isn't a sharpshooter? Nope.